Well, how about another knife review? This is of the great little SOG Flash I. This is a wonderful little everyday carry blade. When I want something, when I'm going to go kind of to my minimalist everyday carry, I'm wearing something, I don't know, with less room in it, I'll say. I go for this knife and my 4.7's Pre-On 1. Previously reviewed the Pre-On 1, but you can see that these two together are just super small. They fit in your pocket, and just a great little combination. So that's my go-to little deal. Anyway, the SOG Flash I, it is a super small knife, as I mentioned, 1.3 ounces. You forget you're carrying the thing. Full length, 5.75 ounces. The blade's 2.5 ounces. Pretty thin, as you can see. So nice little lightweight everyday carry blade. And uses, as I mentioned, pretty much everyday carry. You know, could you defend yourself with this? I suppose. Better than nothing, I guess. But obviously not really the purpose it's intended for. You know, I use this opening boxes, small little, simple everyday carry stuff. That's, I think, kind of what this knife was intended for. If you want a more tactical version, there is the Flash II, which is basically this exact same knife, but bigger. Pretty much everything about it's the same. Comes in a couple different variations. Speaking of variations, this blade, pretty limited, but pretty much just the black handle. And then there's a plain edge or the partially serrated edge. The Flash II, which I mentioned as bigger, comes in a couple different handle colors. I don't know, 3 or 4 of them. I think even a digicamo. I think maybe even has a Tanto option as well. Plain edge, partially serrated. So a couple different options there. But this Flash I, really just 2 versions, I think, as far as I know. Black handle and either the plain or the partially serrated edge. The handle is glass reinforced nylon, a Zytel handle. Has the scales on it. Let me bring it in close here. All right, there you can see a little close-up of the scales. They are, enough to get a little bit of grip on, but not, not super sharp or anything like that. Just enough, just texturized enough. In the back here, there is a safety right there. It's in the off position. You can flip it on, and then the knife won't open. I have never had any problems with this knife coming open in my pocket, so I always leave it in the, I guess, the off position, as it were. Again, if you're concerned about it coming open in your pocket, throw it on, but I have not once had a problem with it. Up here, this is the part of the lock release mechanism. Some people complain about this, that it makes noise. I've really not had any issues with it. Usually you're carrying it in your pocket and there's some fabric against this, and it just doesn't make any noise for me. No issues, but something I've seen people note. Small critique, I guess. The pocket up in front here, the pivot screw, you can loosen that little small hex bit if need be. The obviously not a flow-through design, and on the inside, no liners, which is perfectly fine. Keeps the weight down. Again, a blade of this use, everyday carry, you don't need liners, and perfectly fine for that. Moving on, the pocket clip. Pocket clip has it's SOG's super deep carry pocket clip, and you can see that when you put this in your pocket, all you are going to see, and it's super deep, all you're going to see is that pocket clip. The knife is going to completely disappear down into your pocket. No underclip issues because this the handle is really not that sharp. One of the problems the pocket clip can have, it's a stainless steel, I believe, pocket clip, and it can get caught on things. As you can see, the pocket clip when I first got it was straight across, and now it's angled up a little bit. And as you wear it, it tends to actually bend out a little bit. And I've heard of people actually catching this on something and it really bending out. A couple of fixes for that. You can take the pocket clip out, just this hex screw back here, take the pocket clip out and carefully bend it back. Alternatively, I hear you can call SOG and they will send you a new pocket clip, or if you want to go all the way, send the whole knife back to SOG and they will fix it for free. So good service from SOG there. Otherwise, pocket clip is nice. Like I said, super deep carry, no issues there. Moving on forward to the blade. The blade mechanism, first of all, it has SOG's assisted opening, not full automatic, but assisted. So basically, you put a little bit of pressure on the thumb stud, of course, the ambidextrous thumb studs. You put a little bit of pressure on the thumb stud, and open it goes. Has a little bit of a detent right here, right about out to there. So you get past that detent and it just flips open the rest of the way. Quick little opening. So I like the assisted opening. As I mentioned, you really have to get a pretty good amount of force to get past that detent for this to come open in your pocket. I guess I've heard of it happening, never had a problem myself, for what that's worth. Anyway, so the blade, Aussate steel, kind of medium quality steel, holds the edge decently, sharpens up decently otherwise, but it's not going to hold that edge as well as some of the nicer steels. But for a knife of this, this purpose, everyday carry, not really a big issue for me. This is it has a full flat ground blade. This is obviously the plain edge. It does come in that partially serrated. So not a bad little blade for that. Lock mechanism, the locking, there is almost just an imperceptible little bit of up and down play. You probably can't even see it. I can only feel it. I can't even see it. Some people complain about it. I have no issues with it. Again, for a knife of this purpose, it's perfectly fine. Side to side, my knife has none. I've heard of some people having a little bit. You can adjust it with this screw if you're so inclined. But really no complaints for me about the locking mechanism. Perfectly fine. What else? The ergonomics, the handle, it has these two little finger grooves here. The front one, you can get your finger in and sort of on this fake jimping here, you can get in there and hold it fairly decent. This back finger groove, I'm really not sure why it's there because it's really too close to that first one to get your second finger in there. I have medium-sized hands and I could not get two fingers in there, at least not comfortably, to get a good grip on that. I usually end up carrying it back like this and that second little finger groove goes completely unused. Again, not a huge deal. I have no real complaints about it, but for what that's worth, not really useful there. I suppose they could have put it back just a little bit farther or made just one big swoop there. Something, but small thing again. Not really a big issue, but just something to note as you're looking at it. Otherwise, it fits just perfectly fine in your hand. Hold it this way, depending on what you're trying to open. Perfectly fine, again, for the purpose of the knife. Durability-wise, I've been carrying this knife for, I don't know, some number of months. Not sure how long I've had it. A while. The handle holds up perfectly fine. The pocket clip, as I mentioned, does tend to bow out a little bit. Not enough for me so far that I've had any issue with it to want to bend it back. But I suppose someday maybe I catch it on something and it flips out 90 degrees. Then I'll think about fixing it. Otherwise, the blade, I sharpened it. It comes decently sharp, not quite as sharp as this Spyderco Dragonfly 2 that I'll get to a review of here. But decently sharp. Otherwise, durability seems to do really well. Price on this knife, $61. I think it's the street, or rather, that's the retail price. Street price closer to $40, I believe. So for a knife of this size, this purpose, not really a bad little knife for $40. Some other stuff in the same realm of this, at least in my collection. This Spyderco Dragonfly 2. The thing I don't like about this Dragonfly 2, at least in comparison, is obviously very small, but it's thick this way compared to this SOG. So the SOG is just super small for that. Again, put it in your pocket, throw it in there with a pre-on one, and it just makes a great little everyday carry combo. Small little everyday carry. So check it out. SOG Flash I, wonderful little everyday carry knife.